Well, Van Cortlandt is as pretty as a picture on this fine winter's day. A very cold picture, but a nice picture nonetheless. And I'm sorry you haven't seen a new magazine in the last couple of months, but I've been working on a very special documentary project that's near and dear to my heart.
You're the fairest that my eyes dare behold.
The Ashling Irish Center is a non-profit immigrant services and community center based on the Bronx-Yonkers border. In 2006, the center released a book profiling 30 Irish immigrants from the Bronx and the tri-state area. Memory Brings Us Back Again was an instant hit, and last year the center asked me to bring their stories and experiences to life. The result? Memory Brings Us Back, Irish Stories of Farewells and Fortunes, a 1-hour documentary. Written and produced by myself and James Carney with camera work by Emmy-winning videographer Sean McGinn, it's a thoughtful look at the Irish immigrant experience. Here's a peek.
I lived in a village called Ardnagal, and looking out our kitchen window, we could see mountains far away, and including in that was Crowpatrick in Mayo. So I was looking out the window, and I had remembered as a child when we used to ask my mother what was over there, she would always say America. So I was looking out and I thought to myself, I think I'll go to America.
Just about everybody that I went to school with were all just waiting for the day that they would and could immigrate. And not everybody, even in them days, could come to the United States, but the lucky ones could, and I was one of the lucky ones. And a few more members of my family were lucky enough to be able to immigrate. But things were that bad that that's what you waited for. It's actually very sad that that's the way things were. Parents seeing their children going away at a young age was, I'm sure, tough enough, but they knew and we knew and I knew that it had to be done.
Oh, the day that I did part, well, it broke my mother's heart. Will I ever see my dear ones anymore?
This night I came home about 2 o'clock in the morning, and knock came to the door, and it was my brother. He says, "Get ready, you have to be in Cork at 7 o'clock in the morning." Well, we were about 85 miles from Cork, and I hired the car, but I hadn't much time to see my mother. I came to my own house, she gave me a hug and off I went.
My father hired a car, and my friend and I came and took the car to Cove. My father came with us, and of course the night before all the neighbours came to say goodbye and give us a few shillings and wish us well. And we headed off to Cork. It took all day in those days from Longford.
We had a party in the house the night before, as was, and always someone sings Danny Boy. It's part of the tradition. My mother was crying, and my stepfather, who was very emotional, he was just absolutely sobbing. And my mother, from her life, who had to be strong, was crying, and I wasn't. But I do remember, especially knowing that in those days, you quite often didn't come back,
It was very sad. Kids, 16, 17, their mother and father standing there, and they were like pushing them in the ship. The kids didn't want to come. Some of the kids didn't want to come. No, they wanted no parts. Young, 16, 17-year-olds. But it was sad to watch the father and mother turning away from the kids and forgetting about them for time being anyway.
As I remember, we had to go into some kind of a booth, and we thought we were going to get back out, and we weren't allowed back out. So I never got to say goodbye to him, but just waved from the pier then.
I used to go to City Centre probably on a Saturday night, but I always, no matter where I was on a Sunday, it was, we'll end up in the Red Mill.
Please don't be offended if I preach to you a while. Tears are out of place in eyes that were meant to smile. I think I got to America on Monday, and I think I was playing the Red Mill on Friday. Look for the silver lining. When people came from Ireland at that time in the 62, 63, 64, there was a tremendous amount of people came from Ireland at that time. And of course, no different from Chinatown or Little Italy. They were looking for a place like home. And what better place than a dance hall? That's what they grew up with. That's what it was. It was the show bands and the dance halls. Girls on one side, boys on the other side, music starts, and the two come together.
I suppose you'd say more innocent in some ways, because we were, you know, you wouldn't be always going to go out and say, well, I'm going to meet some guy tonight, like, you know, that you weren't, that wouldn't be your motive as much as that you were going out to dance and have fun and meet your friends.
Memory Brings Us Back is available at the Ashling Irish Centre, or you can order online. All proceeds benefit the centre and its mission. If you'd like to learn more, you can log on to www.ashlingcenter.org.
In my Bronx backyard, in my Bronx backyard, in my Bronx backyard, in my Bronx backyard, in my Bronx backyard.